welcome to the Base Movement School video series. This is your intermediate Monday strength session. I'm Jazz.
I'm John.
And today we are going to be working on, as I said, it's a strength session and the first session progressing on from our last week's session that you would have done on Thursday, hopefully. So just a few things before we get started. I want to make sure that as we're going through the sessions, you're following along with us. At any point where you need a rest or need a drink, feel free to do so. But before we get started, make sure you've got all the equipment that you need and any space as well. So I'm going to be coaching John through your session today. So whenever you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so for the warm-up today, what we're going to do is a single leg forward and back hop. So we'll start on our left leg for me and just 10 forward and back. Good, as quickly as you can. That's it. And then we're going to swap over and do the other leg. So we really want to be quick off the ground here, keeping our toes up and landing on the ball of our feet. Now we're going to go side to side. So we're going to do 10 on our left leg. Imagine there's like a line on the ground, or even find a line on the ground. That's it, nice and quick. Then do 10 on the other leg. Good, as quick as you can. That's it. Cool. Now what we're going to do is a little bit of jump and land work with that counter movement jump. So we'll go feet underneath our hips, arms overhead, hips go back, and then a big jump up as high as we can. So we're going to do 5 of those. Cool. Each time feel free, take a few seconds, jump up for height. Good, and one more for me, John. Good, okay. So now we're going to go back to our footwork again. So we'll start on our left leg and go forwards and back. Try and get a little bit quicker this time if we can. Good, we're doing 10 of those and then swapping legs. Good. Good, 10. And then side to side now. Cool. 10 on each leg. Being nice and quick. Good. Awesome. Now we're going to do one more set of our counter movement jumps. So we'll set ourselves up. As we can see, we've got a basketball can fit in between our feet. Feet under our hips. A good thing I like is when we're using our big arm swing, imagine that you're throwing something up the wall. Good. Awesome. Sweet. Next what we've got is an inchworm. So we're going to be starting nice and tall for us, and then we're going to kind of creep out, walking forwards into a kind of like a plank position, and then walking all the way back up. So this one, you're going to be able to feel this one in the back of your legs, maybe a little bit in the shoulders, and also core as well. So great one to just warm yourselves up. We're going to be doing 5 of these as well. If it's too easy, you can try and walk out a little bit further than what John has been doing now, but if that is even too hard, you can kind of walk out a little bit less. Cool. Next one we've got is a lying hamstring stretch. So John's going to go on the ground, straighten his leg, and then just pop his hands underneath the knee. So again, we should be able to feel this one in the back of our leg. Flexing the toe up to the ceiling, and just do 10 on each leg for me. Perfect. Cool. Good. So straightening the leg, flexing the toe, and then pulling it up to the ceiling. Keeping that toe nice and flexed. Before we get into our strength work, we're going to finish off with just some hops to get activated and also work on a little bit of jump and land. So we're going to start on our right leg, and we're just going to be doing 3 medial hops and trying to stick the landing each time. Cool. We'll stay on the other leg. Yeah, go other leg, and then 3 to the other side. If you find that a little bit easy, you can try and get a little bit more distance. Good. Sticking the landings, nice soft landings as well. Good. Cool. So that is now our warm-up done, and we're going to get on to the strength work now. So we've got, same as last week, we're doing 2 supersets The first one that we are doing is going to be a long lever glute bridge and then also a reverse lunge. So first of all, we'll get with our long lever glute bridge. So you do need something elevated. It can be like you can use your couch, a chair like we've got, a set of stairs, your bed. We want feet on the elevated object and then hips going up. Cool. So now we've got a straighter leg. So last week we did it bent leg, now a nice straight leg. We're doing 10 of these as well. Good. Making sure when you go up, squeezing the glutes at the top, hips go up. Good, nice one. Perfect. And now we're going to get into our reverse lunges. Good. We are going to add a 2-second pause in here. So once you get to the bottom, hold for 2 seconds. It will make it a little bit more trickier. And we're doing 10 on each leg. So once you've done 10 on one leg, do 10 on the other leg. As we have been saying, if you do have any sort of equipment, I know John is doing it body weight, but if you've got a dumbbell, a kettlebell, feel free to grab that and make it a little bit more trickier for you. Perfect. Good. Make sure you've got that 2-second pause, and doing 10 on each leg. With our reverse lunges, one thing, as we can see with John, as we're stepping back, we're making like a 90-degree angle with our front knee and also the back knee. And as we step up, pushing that weight through the front leg. Perfect. Cool. Feel free, grab a rest, take a rest if you need, grab a drink, but other than that, get straight into your next round of exercises. So we're going back to our straight leg glute bridge. And also, if you do find that you're doing it on an object that is a little bit lower and it's a little bit easier, you can try and pause the video, try and find something a little bit higher, make it a little bit more challenging. Straight legs, hips go up. Cool. Now we're going to go back into our reverse lunges. Same thing with a 2-second pause. And even if you don't have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, you can literally use anything. A weight is a weight. If you've got your school backpack, anything like that as well. Anything you can find in the kitchen, anything in your room. Good. Making sure that you are pausing at the bottom each time. Pushing through that front foot and standing up nice and tall when you do these. Cool. If you do need a rest, again, take a rest. Otherwise, get straight into your elevated glute bridge. What you can also do to make this one a little bit harder is you can put a dumbbell on your hips as well, or any sort of weight. And again, we're doing 10 reps of these. When you're setting this one up, I know you can't really see with the chair because we've got it's covered, but make sure that your feet are just off the end of the object that you're putting your feet on. If you put your feet all the way on the couch, it's going to be a lot more easier than what it would be if you have them a little bit closer to the edge. We've got one more set of our reverse lunges. Again, it is the last set, but I still want to make sure that we're doing that 2-second pause. So if you do feel like you're getting a little bit tired, take a break, especially if you are using a weight. Yeah, so with that 2-second pause, just count in your head 1, 2, and try and keep it as consistent as you can. That's it. Stepping back, Standing up nice and tall. And as we stand up, pushing our weight through the front foot. Perfect. Good. Just finishing off the last few. Last few here. Cool. So that is now our first superset done. Between our first and second supersets, grab a drink, take a break, pause the video if you need, but we're going to get stuck onto our second superset now. So what we have got for the first exercise is an elevated push-up on the chair, and we're also going to be supersetting that one with a B stance RDL. Cool. So first one, on the chair. We're using this kind of one we've got handles, but you can literally use anything. You don't even have to use a chair. You could use the wall, you could use your bed, the couch, again. Everything works. Just making sure that we're setting up with our hands in line with our shoulders. Nice straight, nice flat back. And bending through the elbows with these ones. If these are really, really easy for you, don't worry about elevating it. Go straight onto the ground. For the next one, we're going to do the B stance RDL. So how we'll set this one up is we'll go feet together, make an L, and then step back and kind of squish around. Cool. For weight with this one, we will show you with a dumbbell. So John, if you want to grab that one. A dumbbell, but you can literally use anything, any equipment that you have. You can use even your broomstick. But we'll go, now we've got our setup, we're going to go hips back, and good, keeping that chest up. Another thing is we don't want the weight to be coming out all the way here, we want to keep it against our leg. Good, and we're doing 10 each leg. Good. So setting up again, so I'll show you the setup. If you're confused here, together, make an L, and then kind of squish around a little bit. Good. Cool. Good. So making sure that we have nice soft knees when we're doing this one. We're not locking our leg out and keeping the weight out here. Soften the leg and keep the weight just by our side. Good. Cool. Cool. Grab a break if you need, otherwise we'll get stuck into our next set. Do you need a break? Go. Noticing how here John's keeping a nice flat back. With our push-ups, we want to avoid having any of that arching or any of that kind of making a bridge or a tent with our back. Good. And again, same as last set, if this is too easy, go straight to the ground. Cool. We'll go into our next set of our B stance RDLs. Cool. So make an L, squish around, hips go back, chest up. If you don't have a dumbbell or any sort of weight, this is fine. You can do it with any of the equipment that we were using or explaining in the last video. You can use a resistance band, you can use a kettlebell, a broomstick like I was saying beforehand. Good. And with this one, we want our weight to be going through that front foot. So the back leg there is just for helping us balance a little bit, front leg popping all the weight through. That's it. Cool. And then we've got one more set, one more round of that superset. Back to our push-ups. Good. Making sure you're bending through the elbows, keeping a nice flat back. That's it. And again, if you feel like you are getting tired, especially if you are using weights or the push-ups are quite challenging for you, just make sure, take a break because we'd rather have high quality reps and have a longer rest. Good. Making sure that weight is going through the front foot, back leg just there for balance, hips go back, chest up. That's it. Make sure we get our setup right first and then get started. Good, last few reps here and then we'll take another break. Cool. Now we've finished our 2 supersets. Feel free to grab a drink, pause the video, do whatever you need to do. But now just before we finish up, we're going to be doing a bit of core work. So we're doing a plank today. So John's just going to set up on the ground. Good. Train track arms, tucking our bottoms under. Good. And with this one, we want our elbow in line with our shoulder. We're going to go for 25 seconds. Good. Going. 15 more seconds. Make sure we keep our hips up. Again, same with the push-up. We don't want our backs to sag or go into a bit of a tent. And all done. Cool. Grab a little bit of a rest. Pause the video. Take as much rest as you need in between these sets. If you do find that you want to go for a little bit longer as well, feel free to go for a little bit longer. Cool. When you're ready, we're back into our next set. 25 seconds. Cool. And off we go. Good. Good. Make sure we just keep our hips up the entire time. Good. Almost there, 10 more seconds. And all done. So that's the end of the workout, end of our Monday session. So hopefully you guys followed along. If you do have any questions about any of the exercises, you want to find a way to different kind of variations, feel free to pop it down into the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe to our channel, have a look, keep up to date on our Instagram as well as our Facebook, as we're going to be posting notifications about information regarding the video series as well. Otherwise, have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday for the next session.